Catherine the Great was one of the most remarkable rulers in history. Born Sophie of Anhalt-Zerbst in 1729, she was a German princess from a minor noble family. Her life took a dramatic turn when she was chosen as the bride for the heir to the Russian throne, Peter III. Catherine arrived in Russia at the age of 15, converting to Orthodoxy and immersing herself in Russian language and culture. Ambitious and intelligent, Catherine quickly learned the intricacies of Russian court politics. Her husband, Peter III, proved to be an unpopular and ineffective ruler. He alienated key factions within the Russian elite, including the powerful military. Catherine, on the other hand, cultivated support among influential nobles and military officers. After only 6 months on the throne, Peter III was overthrown in a coup d'état orchestrated by Catherine and her supporters. Catherine's charisma, political acumen, and genuine connection with the Russian people were instrumental in securing her ascension to the throne as Empress of Russia in 1762. Catherine's reign, spanning over 3 decades, marked a transformative era in Russian history. She would go on to be known as Catherine the Great, a title bestowed upon her for her remarkable achievements in expanding Russia's borders, modernizing its government, and promoting education and culture. Her legacy as one of Russia's most influential and controversial rulers continues to be debated and admired to this day. Catherine the Great was a ruler of immense ambition, determined to secure Russia's place as a dominant power in Europe. Through a combination of military conquest and shrewd diplomacy, she significantly expanded the Russian Empire, adding vast territories and securing access to vital waterways. One of her most notable achievements was the annexation of Crimea in 1783. This strategically important peninsula in the Black Sea had long been a target of Russian expansion, and Catherine's successful campaign secured Russia's dominance in the region. This victory also established Russia as a major naval power in the Black Sea, challenging the Ottoman Empire's dominance. Further east, Catherine oversaw the Russian Empire's expansion into Siberia, reaching the Pacific Ocean. She encouraged exploration and settlement in these vast territories, further solidifying Russia's territorial claims and opening up new avenues for trade and resource extraction. Catherine's expansionist policies were not without their critics. Her wars and territorial acquisitions came at a significant human cost and fueled tensions with neighboring powers. However, there is no doubt that Catherine's reign witnessed a dramatic increase in Russian power and prestige on the world stage. Her expansion of the empire laid the groundwork for Russia's emergence as a major player in European and global affairs, a legacy that continues to shape the country's geopolitical ambitions to this day. Catherine the Great is often remembered as an enlightened despot, a ruler who embraced the ideals of the Enlightenment and sought to apply its principles to her reign. Influenced by the works of philosophers such as Montesquieu and Voltaire, Catherine believed in the power of reason, education, and progress to transform society. She envisioned a Russia that would shed its image as a backwards and autocratic state and emerge as a modern and enlightened power. To achieve this vision, Catherine embarked on an ambitious program of reforms aimed at modernizing Russia's government, legal system, and society as a whole. One of her first acts as Empress was to establish the Legislative Commission in 1767. This body, composed of representatives from different social classes, was tasked with reviewing and codifying Russian law, which was outdated and often arbitrarily applied. Although the commission ultimately failed to produce a comprehensive legal code, it provided valuable insights into the state of Russian society and highlighted the need for further reforms. Catherine also recognized the importance of education in fostering progress and enlightenment. She founded numerous schools and universities, including Russia's first public library in St. Petersburg. Catherine's patronage of education extended to girls and women, a radical concept at the time. She believed that educating women was essential for the development of a more enlightened and civilized society. Catherine the Great's reign was not only marked by territorial expansion and political reforms, but also by a flourishing of arts and culture. A passionate patron of the arts and sciences, Catherine believed that cultural achievement was a reflection of a nation's greatness. She generously supported artists, writers, and scientists, transforming Russia into a center of intellectual and artistic ferment. Under her patronage, St. Petersburg, Russia's new capital, was transformed into a magnificent metropolis. Adorned with grand palaces, impressive monuments, and world-class museums. Catherine's own art collection, the Hermitage, formed the nucleus of what is today one of the world's greatest art museums. Catherine's support for the arts extended beyond lavish patronage. She was an accomplished writer herself, authoring plays, memoirs, and satirical essays. She corresponded with leading Enlightenment thinkers, including Voltaire and Diderot, engaging in lively debates on philosophy, politics, and the arts. Her reign witnessed the emergence of a vibrant Russian literary scene, with writers like Mikhail Lomonosov and Nikolai Karamzin laying the foundation for a national Russian literature. Catherine's efforts to promote Russian language and culture helped foster a sense of national identity and pride, contributing to Russia's emergence as a major cultural force in Europe. Section 5. Reforming Russia, from law to local administration. Catherine the Great understood that a strong and centralized government was essential for the effective rule of her vast empire. She implemented a series of reforms aimed at modernizing Russia's administrative structure, making it more efficient and responsive to the needs of its citizens. One of her most significant administrative reforms was the establishment of the system of gubernias in 1775. This reform divided Russia into 50 provinces, each headed by a governor appointed by the Empress. This new system streamlined the administration, reduced the power of local nobles, and brought government closer to the people. Catherine also sought to reform the legal system, which was riddled with inconsistencies and corruption. She established new courts, introduced trial by jury for certain cases, and attempted to codify Russian law, although this ambitious project remained unfinished. Despite her efforts, Catherine's legal reforms had limited success, as entrenched interests and the sheer scale of the task proved difficult to overcome. Catherine's reforms, while significant, were often limited in their scope and impact. She remained an absolute monarch, unwilling to relinquish her autocratic power. Her reforms were often met with resistance from the nobility, who saw them as a threat to their traditional privileges. Nonetheless, Catherine's efforts to modernize and centralize the Russian state laid the groundwork for further reforms in the centuries that followed. Section 6. A Balancing Act. Catherine's Foreign Policy. Catherine the Great inherited a complex geopolitical landscape, and her foreign policy was characterized by a pragmatic approach aimed at securing Russia's interests through a combination of diplomacy, alliances, and strategic military interventions. She skillfully navigated the treacherous waters of European power politics, forging alliances, engaging in wars, and expanding Russia's influence on the continent. One of her main foreign policy goals was to secure access to the Black Sea for Russia, a strategic ambition she achieved through her successful wars against the Ottoman Empire. The Treaty of Kukuk-Kainarka in 1774 granted Russia control of vital Black Sea ports and recognized Russia's right to protect Orthodox Christians within the Ottoman Empire, significantly enhancing Russia's influence in the region. Catherine also played a key role in the partitions of Poland, a series of agreements between Russia, Prussia, and Austria that resulted in the gradual annexation of Polish territories. While these partitions were condemned by many as a blatant act of aggression, they significantly expanded Russia's western borders and eliminated a potential buffer state between Russia and its European rivals. Throughout her reign, Catherine maintained a delicate balance of power in Europe, skillfully playing off rival powers against each other to Russia's advantage. She formed alliances with Austria and Prussia when it suited her interests, but she was also willing to challenge their ambitions when necessary. Her foreign policy legacy is a complex one, marked by both territorial expansion and a pragmatic understanding of the need to maintain equilibrium on the European continent. Section 7. Challenges and Controversies. Pugachev's Rebellion and the Limits of Reform. Catherine the Great's reign was not without its challenges and controversies. While she is remembered for her achievements, she also faced significant internal unrest, revealing the limits of her enlightened reforms and the deep-seated social tensions within Russian society. The most serious challenge to Catherine's rule was Pugachev's Rebellion, a massive peasant uprising that shook the empire to its core between 1773 and 1775. Led by Yemelyan Pugachev, a Cossack who claimed to be the deposed Emperor Peter III, the rebellion spread like wildfire across southern Russia. Pugachev promised freedom from serfdom, lower taxes, and an end to the oppression of the peasantry, attracting a large following among the discontented masses. The rebellion exposed the deep social and economic inequalities that plagued Russian society. Despite Catherine's enlightened ideals, she was ultimately a ruler who depended on the support of the nobility, and her reforms did little to alleviate the plight of the peasantry. The rebellion was brutally suppressed and Pugachev was captured and executed. In response to the rebellion, Catherine strengthened the institution of serfdom, further tightening the grip of the nobility on the peasantry. This reactionary move contradicted her earlier reformist zeal and demonstrated the limits of her commitment to Enlightenment principles when they clashed with the interests of the ruling class. Section 8. The Legacy of Catherine the Great, an enduring symbol of Russia's power and ambition. Catherine the Great's reign left an indelible mark on Russian history, shaping the country's destiny for centuries to come. She ascended the throne at a time of turmoil and uncertainty, and through her intelligence, ambition, and unwavering determination, she transformed Russia into a major European power. Catherine's legacy is complex and multifaceted. She was an enlightened despot, a ruthless autocrat, a patron of the arts, and a shrewd diplomat. She embraced the ideals of the Enlightenment, promoting education, science, and culture. Yet she also presided over a system of serfdom that condemned millions to a life of oppression. Her territorial acquisitions significantly expanded Russia's borders, securing access to vital waterways and establishing the country as a major player on the European stage. Her reforms, while limited in scope, laid the groundwork for the modernization of Russian government and administration. Catherine's reign continues to fascinate and inspire debate among historians. She remains a controversial figure, admired for her achievements, and criticized for her contradictions. Yet, there is no doubt that Catherine the Great was one of the most consequential rulers in Russian history, leaving behind a legacy of power, ambition, and cultural brilliance that continues to shape Russia's identity to this day. Section 9. Conclusion. Catherine's enduring mark on history. Catherine the Great's impact on Russia and Europe remains significant centuries after her reign. Her legacy, one of grandeur, expansion, and a complex interplay of Enlightenment ideals and autocratic realities, continues to be analyzed and debated by historians and enthusiasts alike. From her ambitious territorial expansions that redrew the map of Europe to her patronage of arts and culture that enriched Russia's intellectual landscape, Catherine's influence is undeniable. While her embrace of Enlightenment principles was often tempered by political pragmatism, her efforts to modernize Russia's government, legal system, and education system left a lasting impact. Her legacy serves as a reminder of the complexities of leadership, the challenges of reform, and the enduring allure of power. Ultimately, Catherine the Great's reign serves as a testament to the power of a single individual to shape the course of history, leaving behind a legacy that continues to resonate in modern times.